Hi there, and welcome back to Yoga with Turning Strawberry. I'm Andy, and today we're going to work through KAKASANA, or crow pose. So crow pose is actually very commonly mistaken as bakasana, which is crane pose. The major difference between these two very similar arm balances is actually in the positioning of the arms. So for bakasana, or crane pose, the primary function here is to keep the elbows straight and locked out, which adds additional flexion through the wrist. So as your arms are straight, with the elbows up into your armpit, there's a lot of stretching here that requires great flexibility through the wrists and stability, as well as strength and stability through the shoulders and through the upper back. Lots of core strength to keep the abdominals curled in as we push, chin lifted as you go forward. So from the upper body on up, this is how crane is executed. But for crow pose, KAKASANA, think kaka for crow, your elbows actually take on a chaturanga form. We're going here into more of a 90-degree bend, and we work off of that as a platform to stack our body weight over our wrists into our palm. So for KAKASANA, crow pose, moving into this from standing. So starting in Samastitihi or Tadasana, we're gonna inhale with our feet close together, arms overhead, and exhale, forward fold. We're gonna plant our hands shoulder width apart on the mat in front of us. And with our feet together, we're gonna raise onto our toes, bending the knees and coming down into a squat. Inhale, legs straight, and exhale, back down into a squat. We're gonna do this a few times. Inhale, legs straight, heels to the mat, and exhale, shifting the weight through the hands, feeling the transfer into our upper shoulders. We really want to push into that mat and engage our shoulders, bending the knees, coming up onto our toes, sending the knees wide to our elbows, lifting the gaze. Inhale, and exhale. We're gonna do this a few more times, just feeling the weight transfer, really getting the hang of stacking the weight through our shoulders, through our palms, into the mat. This is the key to unlocking any arm balance. A lot of this is all through shoulder strength. All right. One more inhale. And on our next exhale, keeping the gaze lifted, drishti's on our third eye, gaze is looking up. We're gonna bend the knees, bend the elbows, matching our knees into our armpits. So we're here. Now, leaning forward, keeping the chin lifted, we wanna keep our gaze up, feel the weight transfer into our palms. Get nice and cozy. Maybe as you lean forward, one foot comes up. And maybe as you keep going, you're able to take full flight with the other. You want to keep your gaze lifted. If you drop your chin, you're going to send the majority of your weight forward, which will cause you to tumble forward. Keeping your chin up, chin lifted, gaze forward. Maybe we point our toes. Maybe you drop lower into deeper chaturanga arms. One more inhale here, and exhale, down to the mat. Knees down, come to kneeling. Maybe we take a stretch out on our wrists. Getting a feel for it. KAKASANA is the first inversion, the first arm balance I ever learned. And in doing so, you not only get used to the feeling of weight transfer, the feeling of shifting your weight forward, and it does help you get over that fear of face planting into the mat. Because doing rooster, I have face planted, but when you do rooster, your legs are like locked, straight up just noggin. So it happens, and it's totally okay. That's why it's a great idea to practice this on something that's soft. Or if you're a little concerned about face planting into the mat or hitting the top of your dome onto the floor, you can fold your mat. Maybe you fold it once, maybe you fold it twice. So that way if you do fall, If you do find yourself dropping your gaze to check out your toes and you go noggin first, you have a little bit more cushion there. It's a great trick also if you're practicing stuff where you need to balance on your knees. We're gonna do Kakasana again. And this time, we're gonna mentally think. We're stacking our weight, we're stacking our arms, we're stacking our knees right onto our triceps, really forcing that weight down into the mat. And as we do so, we're being conscious through our legs. We're tucking our heels up to our glutes, pointing our toes. It's full body engagement with mental awareness. And as we're doing that, keeping the core tight, keeping the back arched, really sending everything up, tall, strong, long, we're really practicing that in this posture. Because as you progress and you start doing, say, side crow, or you move into Parshva Bhuja Dandasana, or grasshopper pose, or we start getting into flying pigeon, all of those arm balances work on that foundation of having that nice, strong chaturanga arm base, while stacking all of our weight through that central point. It's all about stacking in your balance. So, inhale, placing the hands onto the mat. We're gonna lift our toes, settling down into that squat, and we're gonna get ready to do Kakasana round 2. So, whenever you're ready, sending the weight forward, we lift the hips, lining the knees up into our armpits, leaning forward, leaning forward, leaning forward, leaning forward. And over time, maybe both feet come up. Nice and engaged through the shoulders, feeling it stack, strong through the core. And when you're ready to exit, maybe we take a big inhale and we exhale, shooting the legs back into chaturanga. Ready? Inhale to upward facing dog, and exhale to down dog. Nice job. Walking the feet forward and coming down to an easy seat. So, as you can see, Kakasana is challenging in its own right. And the longer you hold it, the more you feel the quads engage, the more you feel it through your arms. So take your time, practice, master, and then after you've really internalized that bodily awareness necessary to shoot back into chaturanga, then you've got Kakasana down to a point. Thank you for practicing with me. I hope you found some part of this useful, and I hope to see you back here on the mat again. Thank you, and namaste.